Nukes. 9 countries have them. Russia's got the most with over 6,000. The USA is close behind with 5,500. But don't worry, ours are more technologically advanced, as if that matters when you blow the heck out of each other. And way back at number 3 is China. Just 350 of them, according to reports by this prominent nuke counter called the Federation of American Scientists. So China's 350 nukes are less than 1/10 of what we have. Nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about, huh? Well, that's what I thought until I came across this shocking report. While we were all fixated on the dollar store Chinese spy balloon getting shot down with our $400,000 missiles, the U.S. Strategic Command, known as STRATCOM, was complying with their obligation to notify Congress of a certain uncomfortable truth. And here it is. On February 7th, STRATCOM sent a letter to Congress that said the number of land-based fixed and mobile ICBM launchers in China exceeds the number of ICBM launchers in the United States. Excuse me? What? Yep, you heard me right. The number of land-based fixed and mobile ICBM launchers in China exceeds the number of launchers in the United States. Now, ICBM stands for Intercontinental Ballistic Missile. It's one of 3 ways to deliver strategic nukes on one's enemies. The other 2 ways are with subs and with bombers. Now, we know that the U.S. has 450 ICBM launchers loaded up with ICBMs, nukes. And this disclosure that STRATCOM is required to make says that China has more launchers than that, which means that the number of ICBMs, the nukes, which go on the launchers, is probably more than is being counted or reported. But hey, who am I to suggest that the data coming out of China is not accurate or reliable anyway, right? Seriously, why would you have 450 ICBM launchers but only 300 missiles? Wouldn't it make sense to have a nuclear missile for every launcher or several nukes for every launcher? And even if we didn't have one right now, wouldn't it suggest that they're planning to make one? After all, China makes everything for everyone, everywhere else. And nukes, I'm sorry, are no exception. So what aren't we being told? Well, in short, things that will freak us out. But here they are. Number 1, China has ICBMs. The usual type are called DF-41s. They have a range of 7,000 to 11,000 kilometers, and they can hit anywhere in the U.S., anywhere, including the 3 bases where today we house 400 of our ICBMs, at Malmstrom, at F.E. Warren, and at Minot Air Force bases. Number 2, China has constructed 360 additional ICBM launchers and or silos in Western China. These silos contain a more sophisticated type of nuke, the DF-41, and they can carry up to 10 warheads each with a 12,000 kilometer range. Plenty of range to reach out and touch us. Number 3, China has expanded its fissile material production capabilities. Now it's confirmed by U.S. intelligence assessments. This means China can turn out nukes faster than Big Macs at McDonald's drive-thru. A recent U.S. intelligence report even estimates there'll be up to at least 1,500 warheads by 2030 to 2035. Number 4, China has tunnel-based mobile railroad launchers for their land-based ICBMs. They have railroads underground, meaning they can transport ICBMs wherever and whenever they want without detection. Now, do you think they might also have a few nukes stashed away underground somewhere already, by the way? Of course. And number 5, while Russia last week pulled out of the START treaty, China refused to join altogether. They claim, hey, we have such a small number of nukes compared to both you, Russia, and you, United States, and so we should just be left alone. All right. Now, all of this makes recent tensions with China even more concerning, if you ask me. First, the Chinese spy balloon itself. As we all know, it passed undeterred through U.S. airspace right over one of our 3 strategic missile bases. Even if the Chinese contend it was only collecting weather information, which we all know it certainly was not just collecting. I can tell you, being a trained artilleryman, that this data is extremely valuable. MET, as we called it, is short for meteorological data, and it's one of the 5 requirements for accurate predicted fire. And that's what they're going to be doing, accurate predicted fire. And even if it was not collecting any information at all, aren't we concerned that these cheap balloons can float through undetected, carrying other stuff like bombs or weapons of mass destruction or EMP weapons to take out our grid or worse? Then we have escalating tensions over strengthening China-Russia relations in Ukraine. It's no secret China is probably the most important Russian ally. Their economies are dependent on each other. China is already providing non-lethal support, and intelligence sources say they are on the verge of providing lethal support. Lethal. And don't forget that Putin and Xi have a friendship without limits, as they call it. And I'm sure their upcoming 40th meeting, being scheduled in the next few weeks, will take the bromance even further over some shots of vodka and baijiu. And finally, Taiwan. They make most, over 60% of the world's semiconductors. 60%. They are critical to today's manufacturing technology in everything from cars to coffee makers and, of course, weapons. So it's no surprise we need to protect those chips. And as reported last week by the Pentagon, the United States will send between 100 and 200 troops to Taiwan over the next few months to help train the island's military. Now, this marks the largest deployment of American forces since we took our station service members there down from regularly being about 9,000 to eventually 0 in 1979. So these 200 servicemen, service people, yes, they're symbolic. We all know that they will do nothing to stop the Red Horde swarming the beaches if they decide to. But that's not why they are there. They're there as sacrificial lambs to deter China's appetite for an invasion. Okay, great. So here's the summary, folks. We're screwed. China is coming. They already own us. And in short order, if not already, they can destroy us. And here we are, debating Rihanna's bump, the merits of fake meat, and the definition of a woman. Like I said, we're screwed. Pretty soon, if we don't wake up, we'll all be made in China too. What do you think? Share your comments below. And if you have something or see something, let me know, and I'll do my best to look at it. Until next time, be ready, be strong, be alert, and keep on prepping.